everyone. I hope that you are enjoying this video series. So far in this series, we've done a January recap video, we've done a mini haul, and now I want to tell you what I am currently reading. So welcome to my currently reading video. Hi everyone. Okay, so I've been reading, which I'm very happy about. I hope that this continues throughout all 12 months of the year. I think I am on I want to say my second book, or maybe I might actually be on my third book of the month, which is super exciting. So right now I am reading The Best of All Possible Worlds by Karen Lord. This is the second or maybe even third time I've read this book, and I want to talk to you a little bit about why you may not have heard me talk about Karen Lord's books. So there are a few, this is slightly hard to admit, but we're friends now, so let me just tell you. There are a few authors whose books I have not reviewed on my channel because I want to make sure, I want to be really careful about book reviews and book ratings and things like that. And it's very important to bring integrity to the way that I talk about the books that I read, especially if I'm going to add some sort of like rating or like some kind of assessment or assessment adjacent quality to what I say about them. And for some writers, I want to make sure that when I do rate the book that I am correctly representing my view of the book. And that requires me to have a particular level of understanding of what I've read, because I do think that it is irresponsible to rate a book that I don't understand without telling people that I actually didn't understand what I read. And so far I have read 3 of Dr. Lord's books. I've read The Best of All Possible Worlds, I've read The Unraveling, and I've read Redemption in Indigo. And I believe she has five books. I've also read The Blue Beautiful World. And I was given an arc of that, and I actually read that twice. And to be honest, I have found these books challenging to follow. And here's why. It's not because of Karen Lord. It's because of me, right? There are some books that you can read while you are in your commute, while you are, just kind of picking them up for entertainment and so on. And I do not find that Dr. Lord's books fall into that category. For me as a reader, when I read her books, I need to read them closely. I need to fully immerse myself in the story. I need to be present, completely present. And that has meant for me that I need to read her books a few times before I fully can feel sort of able to talk about them. And so I've decided, mostly because I had an opportunity to interact with Karen Lord in the flesh last year, which I will tell you more about later, I got an opportunity to sort of hear her talk about her books and her writing, and I'm going to read them all over again because I have enjoyed what I've read, but I haven't been able to thread the needle and see how all of the books work together as part of like a constellation of stories. So I've decided to start with The Best of All Possible Worlds, which was the first book of Karen Lord's that I found, and I believe the first book that she published, but I could be wrong about that. And this one has a publication date of 2014, so it might actually be the first. Okay, so let me tell you about this story. A proud and reserved alien society finds its homeland destroyed in an unprovoked act of aggression, and the survivors have no choice but to reach out to the indigenous humanoids of their adopted world, to whom they are distantly related. They wish to preserve their cherished way of life, but doing so may mean changing their culture forever. Working together to save this vanishing race, a man and a woman from two clashing societies will uncover ancient mysteries with far-reaching ramifications. And as their mission hangs in the balance, the unlikely team, one cool and cerebral, the other fiery and impulsive, just may find in each other their own destinies and a force that transcends all. This was blurbed by Nalo Hopkinson, who's my favorite author, my favorite writer, as you know, and a number of other people. Her work has been likened to Ursula Le Guin, which is fine. I've only read one book of Ursula Le Guin's, but it was praised by a number of people. And I really enjoyed this book when I first read it. There was one particular scene that I absolutely adored. I think this was one of the first books that got me thinking about liminality, which is something that I've been talking about a lot on my channel this year. And so far, I am enjoying it, and I expect to enjoy it all the way through. I am on page 19. So what has happened so far is that the Sidiri, their homeland has been destroyed by another humanoid group that's sort of like distant cousins. And so a group of the Sidiri, all men, have traveled to a planet called Cygnus Beta, and they now have to deal with being refugees on this planet and interacting with humanoids that they considered themselves sort of superior to, right? And this is just an interesting clash. Like, there's obviously questions about, migration and homeland and the continuation of your people. Like, what do you do when your people have been almost decimated and you have to move somewhere else? How do you figure out how to move forward? And we're already introduced to this question of, should the Sidiri be focused on preserving, like remaining pure as a race? Do they mix in order to procreate? Do they make peace with their humanoid cousins who destroyed them? Where are they going to stay? Where are they going to live? Do they have to find another planet to be on? Like, what are they going to do with the survivors of this attack on their people, on their planet, right? And I think, reading this in 2026 with everything that's going on in the world, I think it's timely for me. As I think about things like climate change and migration and having to move somewhere in order to survive and be safe, and having to negotiate relationships with the people who are there, like, all of those questions are really, really important. I also somewhat like the main character, the female character. She's a little bit annoying, but I get her, and I like the Sidiri man who she has to interact with. I know that at some point there's going to be some, romance. I remember that. I remember it being very slow burn and making me smile. So I'm looking forward to reading The Best of All Possible Worlds, and I expect that right after I read this, I'll probably take a break and read something else, but I'll probably go into the next book in the series, which I believe is the Galaxy game. So let me know if you have read anything by Karen Lord, and if not, if you think you'd be interested in reading The Best of All Possible Worlds. This is probably a good time to let you know that I'm also on the Story Graph, and I am tracking my reading on the Story Graph. So if you are ever curious about what's on my plate and what I've read, I think you should be able to see the books that I've read so far in 2026. All right, so thanks very much for watching this video. Please like it if you did. Please subscribe if you're just watching but haven't subscribed. That means a lot to me. And of course, what means the most is engagement in the comments. I will see you there. Remember to read with purpose, everyone. Oh, and because this cover is white, I would love for you, white and gray, I would love for you to find an emoji that has white in it and gray in it, and that can be your comment. If you don't have a lot of words today, that's totally allowed. All right, everyone, read with purpose. Thanks for watching.